Hello, and welcome to Boomer and Beyond Wellness. I'm Angela Fischetti. So today we have 3 workouts in one for you. No kidding. One targeting absolutely beginners, the other a little more intermediate, and the other more advanced. And what we'll be doing here today is both bilateral and unilateral upper body workout. What does this mean? Bilateral means both arms at the same time. Unilateral, one arm at a time. So the accessories we're going to be using today, as always, I love my Gorilla mat. It's a 9x6, and it's this big old sticky yoga mat, which is my preferred surface. And I'm using a variety of weights. Let's see, I'm going from 6¼ pounds. I'll tell you how I do that in a moment. To 21¼ pounds. So, and then in order to do that, another accessory I'll be using on top of the weights would be wrist weights, right? So, those of us who have had pre-existing medical concerns and chronic issues and chronic pain, the stats on how to measure, you go up X amount of percentage of weight. And yeah, well, you know what? When you have had all of these issues and conditions, I go up very gingerly. Sometimes I go up by 1 pound. Other times I go by 1/4 of a pound. So that's why you hear it. And I use wrist weights for this. And it really helps for me to level up the work, even if it's just a little bit at a time. Also, what we'll be using, and of course I'll be using, is a workout bench, right? You don't need to, but for the chest work, we'll be working on our backs, but if you need to do it standing, that's okay. But also you can take it to the floor or onto your bed. And also for those of you who have hypertension, whether you're medicated or not, vertigo or GERD. Now today I'm choosing to do a flat bench for the chest press. And oftentimes I do an incline, but I did want to give you that, throw in another variation. So what I'm going to suggest for you folks is get yourself a small hand towel, fold it up, you put it underneath your head, because for you folks, I want you to have that head elevated so you don't get any blood rushing. Also, I will be using a balance pad, but not for what you think. Really, I'm just going to put it underneath my feet to raise my legs up a little higher. You'll see why. And what else am I using here today? I think, yeah, that's it. That's what we've got. However, just to pay attention for those of you with latex allergies, the mat and possibly even the balance pad are made mostly of latex. So you want to look for latex-free or non-latex. Now, continuing here with more medical disclaimers, those of you who have any of the following issues, be it back spine, whether you've had this diagnosis decades ago or more recently, in particular, if you've been told not to bend down and pick up something with weight of substance, all right? That's a forward flexion of the spine. And oftentimes for those with osteoporosis, but not exclusively, you've been told not to do that. Also, those with postural deviations, in particular, hyperkyphosis, the kind of hunched appearance, and often associated, but not exclusively, with osteoporosis. If you're medicated or not for hypertension, if you have vertigo, GERD, if you've ever been diagnosed with a transient ischemic attack, a TIA, or a stroke, if you have carpal tunnel syndrome, golfers or tennis elbow. So golfer's elbow is medial epicondylitis and tennis elbow is lateral epicondylitis. And if you have a pinched nerve going up into your neck or any type of rotator cuff muscle issue deep within those shoulders, I'm going to invite you all to preview the video first and look for what you can do. I know we're great about what we can't do. And you know what? We need to be smart. We need to know what we can't do. But then I want you to start to open up your perspective and look for what you can do. So if it's even one movement, one exercise, you are definitely going to level up your quality of workout by doing this. But when you look at the video, and should you decide, I don't really know if this is appropriate for me or not, then I would invite the medical healthcare practitioner who knows your body best to preview the video as well and let them help you make an informed decision. And that's what's crucial when it comes to self-care, folks, is an informed decision that you've made for yourself. Gentle reminders. I want you to stay hydrated, please. This is being recorded during a very high heat index throughout the world. So please stay hydrated with water. Feel free to stop and rest whenever you need to. But again, don't quit, right? Take my few moments and can I at least do one more repetition? Yeah, I can. That's how you judge yourself. You just take your time to figure it out. Also, this is a reminder that we have a warm-up and a cool-down video on the channel, and it is advised for those of us 55 years and above to warm up for a minimum of 10 minutes. Now, what we're going to be doing here today are sets, and a set is a group of repetitions of 8 to 15 repetitions. And so how we're going to handle those of you with the pre-existing issues is we're going to demonstrate every single exercise. There are 6 of them. We're going to demonstrate every single exercise without any additional resistance at all, without any of the weights, without the wrist weights, and give you an opportunity to experience it one time through. Now, that's for the beginner stage. That might be very appropriate for you. For the rest of us, that's our warm-up. It's a great way to do a warm-up, folks. And then what we're going to do for the second round, all right, we're going to have a second round. We're going to invite those who are more inclined toward being intermediate with working with weights. Then we're going to now, for the second round, the first round was all done bilaterally, both arms at the same time. Now, for the second round, we're going to repeat those exercises, but we're going to do them unilaterally, meaning one arm at a time. So that's the more intermediate. Now, to go into more advanced, then we're going to superset that same exercise unilaterally, back to back. So in essence, we have a warm-up, no weight. Everybody's going to do bilateral once. Those who want to participate in adding on unilateral once, and then those who want to go for the unilateral twice. So for those of us going for the unilateral twice, we have an opportunity to do this 4 times, including the warm-up. And then what will happen is in between each of these supersetting, meaning we're working back to back with that same exercise, that one arm. So it's one arm, one arm, one arm, one arm. I hope that makes sense to you. And then we're going to stretch in between each of those isolated supersets. Okay, those unilateral supersets, we will be stretching. When you're doing the work on your own, you might want to rest for 20 to 25 seconds or do it an active rest by stretching. And what else do we have here? I think that covers it all. Oh, yes, I forgot. So on the in the community tab on the channel, go in there because I put studies and articles and photos, all this stuff, and images of the exercises of the muscle groups, etc. And you're going to find there a rating of perceived exertion chart, and it's RPE, and it's an excellent way to gauge your sense of your own effort. So what I'd like for this group to do, for the 50 and above group, to work at an RPE between 3 to 6. All right, so now we're going to get started here, folks. So the first exercise we're going to do, it's called a bent over back row. But that's a dead giveaway, folks, that if anything is a bent over, it's contraindicated for for those with the back spine issues, unless you know that you can do a forward flexion, and also for those with postural deviations, all right? So what we're gonna do for you is we're gonna stay upright. This is your choice here. This is your option. The rest, you can take it into the bent over. Here we go. So I'm gonna bring the arms out in front. Now I'm using a narrow grip. This is a wide grip. This is a narrow grip. And we're gonna pull and release. Exhale, pull, pause. So especially when you have no weight in your hands, you can easily just fly through this stuff. Don't do that. Feel it. Take your time with it. Apply your own sense of resistance. Now we're keeping that chest puffed up. We're not collapsing it because it's very easy to let this happen. Don't let the abdominals take you into a crunch. I want you to see what's happening posterior side, where the scapulae, shoulder blades, are retracting, coming in toward each other. We've got 3 more. And we have a heat index here in Miami Beach, so some of the filming might be slightly affected. Okay, release the arms down. Now we're going to do this with a chest press. However, I'm not going to get on the bench yet. I'm going to stay upright for those of you who need it this way. So we're going to, again, narrow grip, arms like so, and you push. Exhale, push. Puff up the chest. We want those strong chest muscles so we can push open heavy doors, push our grocery carts, push the baby carriages with our grandchildren. Just keep that chest puffed up. None of this, right? So when we work here, we're also working the pectoral, the front deltoid, the tricep. On the back, we had the back and bicep and posterior deltoid. Couple more. Exhale. One more. And release it down. Anytime in between, you might need to take some shoulder rolls. Go for that. Now, the next round here is, or the next block, I should say, would be military press along with bicep curls. Now, I'm going to want you to see my hands. So let me step back because I want you to see the feet. When you're preparing for a stance for your exercise, you want to be in what's called an athletic ready stance. The toes are in the same line as each other. Hands come up into the high pelvic bone. Line up, ankles to knees to the inside. Soften the knees, slight posterior pelvic tilt. We don't want to stick out like this. We don't want to twerk. We're here. And now we're going to do the military press. I'm going to squat down lower because I want you to see that the arms go straight up. Now, hypertension and pinched nerve, rotator cuff. You folks might want to choose this, delta abduction, adduction. Notice I don't touch the sides of my body. Now I'm going to come back here to the military press. Now, why don't I touch the sides of the body for the delta abduction, adduction is because I will wind up recruiting the rotator cuff, that supraspinatus muscle. All the way up, exhale. We want to have strong shoulders, especially females are weak here. We need to put heavy boxes up on top shelves and take them back down, or cans of beans on the top shelves of our kitchen cabinets and bring them back down without them falling on us. Even if you enjoy sports with your children or your grandchildren and you shoot basketball, yeah. Couple more. Exhale up all the way. Give it a good reach. So we're combining compound movements. This. Now I'm going to do a basic bicep curl, which is more of an isolation movement. Stabilize those elbows. It's almost as if I'm slightly hugging my outer upper ribs with my inner upper arms. Notice I'm doing what's called supination, face up, pronation, face down. But the bicep muscle is known to be more activated during supination when the elbow flexes, the elbow bends. So we want to pick up heavy groceries. We want to be able to bend down and pick up our beautiful human animals, right? They love when we pick them up. Our grandchildren or children love when we pick them up. And you need strong biceps. Couple more here. Pause, control it down. One more. Nice. Next one, we're doing bent over tricep kickback with forearm pronation and supination. Osteoporotic site. So that's why I want to get that in there. All right, so the bent over, hello, we can't do that for you, right? So we want to make sure those of you who have the issues we mentioned, you stay upright, but we can certainly all come here. The rest, if you want to do it from here, like so, for your bent over tricep kickback, go for it. So out and in. Belly button is drawn in, pause. So we want to really extend. I want to come closer for you so you can see what's going on. Do not do a forward head projection of the head. And also we want to make sure that those elbows are steady, that they're not all over the place. When you return your hands, you're basically returning them to your waist. You're not going up here. Working the tricep muscle. And whenever you push that grocery cart out in front of you, your triceps are helping. Tricep is going to be a helper on anything that's taking into the pectoralis major muscle. It will definitely help it. Much like the bicep will help the back muscles. One more. And release. Now, this is where I'm going to take my pad. I just want to lift those feet up a little higher. And let me turn this way for you. Yep. Okay. I'm going to place my forearms, palms face down. So they're prone, right? And I've got those elbows and forearms digging into my thighs. Wrists are a little bit beyond the knee. They're not on my thigh. And I'm going to make a soft fist, and I'm going to supinate, pronate. Supinate face up, pronate face down. Now, what can happen a lot of times, folks, is people start to lift because the bicep is going to take over at that point. Don't let it happen. Just make sure your forearms and elbows are firmly pressed down into your thighs. Don't let the wrist bend. There is no bent wrist. And folks, if you have carpal tunnel syndrome and you bend the wrist here, it could be an issue. Just want a nice straight wrist for you folks. One more of each. Well, let me do one more because the count would be 1, 1. All right, just so you know how to count it. All right, so are you ready to add in some weights? So let's do this. So the first one, I am going to do it now, bent over, back row, along with the chest press. Now this is where I'm going to need my wrist weights. I'm going to level up here. I like old-fashioned wrist and ankle weights as opposed to the bracelets because they are very adjustable. And about less than half the price. Okay, so my first exercise, bent over back row, is going to be done bilaterally. I got a little confused there for the moment. Okay, so narrow grip. I'm going to turn to the side, feet hips width, and pull. Narrow grip, pull. Belly button drawn in. Now, we want to be careful with people who have golfers and tennis elbow. You really need to find out more specifically for you what's appropriate regarding the bending and extending of the elbows. Keep the head up, especially if you're medicated for hypertension or if you have vertigo and GERD. I like the chin up anyhow so that we get the cervical spine of the neck and the lumbar spine of the low back to be in that natural lordotic curve that they both make. Last one. Oh, and take it down. The next exercise, I'm going to use the same weights for my chest press. So now I come onto the back. Narrow grip again. When I do a narrow grip, this time the tricep is going to be a big help. Puff up the chest and lift, touch the ceiling. Exhale on the effort. So you want to think E. Breath in and out through the nose. Touch that ceiling. Focus on a non-moving point and reach it. Do not allow the chest to collapse. Exhale. Stay hydrated. Stop and rest when you personally need to, but don't quit. 2 more. Exhale. 1 more. Great. Now I'm going to lift the legs up toward the weights. Place the weights on the thighs. The next round is going to be the military press, the shoulder press, it's also called, and bicep curls. I'm leaving on the 1 1/4 pound wrist weights. Here we go. Exhale up. And I'm telling you that the 1/4 pound makes a difference for me on this exercise. Two more. Oh, yeah, man. Easy does. Now, bicep curls. Here we go. Let me come closer for you. You know the position of the feet. We're working, pardon me, with the more intermediate folk. One more. Oh, yeah. Easy on the way down. Pardon me. Now, the next round, let's see, is going to be my bent over tricep kickback and with my forearm pronation and supination. I'm going to remove these now for now because I'm going to put them back on. So for this, I'm going to work with 8 and 12 pounds. Here we go. I don't talk much when I'm working. One more. Ooh la la. Okay. And I'm going to grab 12 pounders. For that pronation and supination. Grabbing my pad. Elevate my feet a bit so I can have pressure on the thighs. Pronate, supinate, pronate, supinate. Make sure you stop. You want to pause at the peak of the contraction. Kind of lock in the exercise, lock in the contraction. Again. We're going to go for 2 more of each. Ooh la la. Oh, yeah. And relax it. So now we're going to work unilaterally. Let me just move these out of the way for the moment. I'll be grabbing them again. Here we go. So now we're going to do our bent over back row unilaterally. So if those of you want to go more advanced, you can stick around for this. Unilaterally, along with the chest press, also unilateral. So now I'm going to put my wrist weights back on. For my bent over back row, unilaterally, I'm going to be using 21.25 pounds. And I'm going to see if I can still do the 16.25 on the unilateral chest press. Okay. Narrow grip. So you want to think like you're starting an old-fashioned lawnmower. The arm comes out in front and you pull on that thing. Last one. And then over to the other side. Want to make sure you don't turn your hip out. You don't want to do a lateral or an external rotation like that. Pull that belly button in. Keep the head up. Two more. Yep, we're supersetting. So if you don't want to do the second round, you don't have to. You want to level up? Join me. Got to have a strong back so you can bend down and pick up something and get up without a problem. So you can pull heavy things, push heavy things, are all involved. Woo, I'm going to try it. Wow. And one more time on the other side. This is where the sweat comes pouring. Belly button is in. One more. Oh, gosh. Okay. Now, I am going to remove the weights only because we need to stretch, okay? So I promised you. Actually, no, I'm going to wait here for the stretch. Yeah, no, I'm right. Got myself a little bit discombobulated there. Okay, back of the arms touch each other. Wrists lower than the shoulders. Puff up the chest. Crisscross. Do not interlock, right? And all I want you to do is focus your attention with your eyes down at your fingertips. Getting a nice stretch in the upper trapezius area. And then crisscross. And just look down just a little bit. I don't want you dropping your head into a forward flexion. Wrists lower than the shoulders. Careful, you don't want to hike the shoulders. Hold your stretches on your own for 30 seconds. And release. Let's take a couple of shoulder rolls. Okay, next one is going to be that chest press unilaterally. So let's give her a shot. Here we go. Narrow grip, puff up chest, aim toward the ceiling. Exhale on the effort, on the lift. Mm. Two more. Whoa. Okay, take it over to the other side. You need to hold on. You hold on. Hit that spot on the ceiling. In yoga, we call this the drashti, point upon which to gaze. Notice that subtle stop at the top, the pause at the peak of the contraction. Working the front deltoid, pectoral, tricep. Dos más. I'm going to keep going. I want to do my second set of each. If you need to hold the opposite hand, you can hold on to the bench. Take it over to the other side. Stay with the breath. Two more. Oh, yeah. Very nice. Very nice. Oh, it feels so good to strength train, no? Oh, it's wonderful to feel those muscles. All right. Now let's take a stretch here. Yeah, it's taking the weights on and off, but I want to do this the right way. Okay. So we're going to bring the arms out and you want to push the walls away. Turn the thumbs down. Now, careful. Those of you with carpal tunnel, we don't want to be in this hand position, this wrist position. This is wrist extension. It doesn't matter the placement of the arm and forearm. It's the wrist, all right? So you go like this, and you reach out through your middle fingers. Now, we're going to turn thumbs down. Inhale, exhale, interlock your fingers. You want to puff up the chest. And I'm going to turn this way so you can see that scapular retraction. However, some of you, if you're doing this, and thinking you're getting your arms further back, you're not. So use a strap, a yoga strap or a belt, hold on to it and bring your arms back. You'll get a lovely stretch in the pectorals, in the biceps, the front delt. Lovely. Let's release it. Okay, so now military press with the bicep curls. Let's put my little wrist weights back on. They are so soaking wet. Okay. And we're doing unilaterally, right? Yep, military press with this. So just one arm. And you can do wide or narrow grip. I'm going wide on here. The first round was wide bilaterally. So it's 16 and a quarter. Yeah, I've tried going up to 18, too much for me. I have 18 pounders, but it's too much on this exercise. I'm inconsistent with it. Oh, one more. And down, other arm. I think what I'm going to do here is go straight into bicep curls, then I'll stretch both. Let's do it that way. Sorry, I'm like breathing right out to my microphone. Oh, one more on this side. Oh, okay. Let's do it again. Oh man, okay. Woo, last one. Okay, here we go. My real right is stronger than my real left. One more. Ugh. And slowly down. Okay, bicep curls. One more. Okay, pronation and supination with this. Exhale on the effort. Glasses are sliding off. I'm going to try one more. Let's see what I get. Okay, do it one more time. Then we'll stretch. Promise. Start making those faces. One more. Oh, I'm going to try one more. And down. Are you having any fun yet, folks? Who says you can't level up later in life? I'm 65. You can level up. You just got to go your pace with that. Sweat. One more. And down. Okay, now we're going to remove the weights, my wrist weights. Let's stretch those two muscles, and then we're going to proceed for one more block. Okay, we just did military press with bicep curl. So interlock the fingers, except those of you who have been told with hypertension that you can't squeeze the fingers, then just place one hand on the other. Same thing. Those of you with carpal tunnel, I'm going to show you something here. So we're going to interlock, showing the feet for a little bit, palms down. Now this is that wrist extension, right? So if you keep your hands this way, you'll be all right. for carpal tunnel. Here we go. Arms up and overhead. Athletic ready stance. Pelvic tuck, belly button in. Not doing this. I'm not doing that. Not so great for pinched nerve nor rotator cuff. Long neck, softened. And if you want to check in with the neck, just turn the head side to side a bit. Back to center. And then we're going to come out. Bicep. Remember, carpal tunnel, straight with the wrist. Just work on, what I'm thinking is pushing the right wall away with my right hand, pushing the left wall away with my left hand. Hold here. And gently release, shoulder roll. Okay, now we're going to come into the bent over tricep kickback. I'm going to take this. You know what? No, I have to be a little realistic. I'm going to go to 6¼ pounds. So here's the 1 1/4, right? And then I'm going to grab my 5s, and I'll be doing this with the pronation and supination. So I'm going to use the bench, one arm, right? And extend. Now I'm going to do a little bit curling here at the wrist. So it's a little supination. Actually, it's pronation. Pardon me. Because if you notice, yeah, it's the back of the hand. Got it. Pronation. Hope I'm right. If I'm incorrect, I'll put that in the show notes. Whew. One more. I have to say, out of all of the tricep exercises in the world, this one is the most challenging for me. It's so challenging. Now, whenever you're bent over, we got to draw that belly button up and in. This will engage the transverse abdominis, the deepest of the core muscles, certainly of the abdominals. Ooh. One more. Woo! Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, if you want to join me on the second round, let's do it. Are you staying hydrated, folks? Are you stopping and resting when you need to? Just don't quit. You can always feel free, folks, to reach out to me by way of the contact form on my website with any comments or questions, etc. Then if you feel like you want some personalized work, I do work virtually in senior fitness as a personal trainer, hatha and prenatal yoga instructor. One more. Oh my gosh. Oh, here we go. If you're interested in massage therapy and you live on Miami Beach, I'm a licensed massage therapist. I do geriatric massage, deep tissue, Swedish, and palliative care massage. Wow. I got to get that head up. My head just wants to drop down, and I don't want that to happen. One more. Last one. Oh, gosh. I don't know who said that. Okay. Now I'm going to take these off, and I'm going to grab my 12s again. Or I should say my 12 and my balance pad. Let's turn this way for you a little bit this time. Vary it up. Okay, here we go. I'm going to hold on to that forearm. I'm going to steady it with the non-working hand. So pronating, and supinating. And then we'll stretch both. Two more of each. I'm going to do two more. Okay. Now that was 17. So that's telling me I might need to level this one up. Let's just see what happens. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. On the second set of this, at least for my, well, it's my real right arm, but I'll call it the left. And I'm going to try the 15. It's too much. It's called downgrade. So I'll just downgrade to 12 pounds again. Sometimes when you do something unilaterally, sometimes you're actually stronger than bilaterally. It's not all the time for me, but it is sometimes. Does that feel? One more of each. Another one. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. I'm going to try it for you. All right. Why not? I'm going to try it and see what it feels like. Like I said, if it's too much, I'm going to go back to the 12. Okay, let's try this. Oh, see, that's a big leap to me. 3 pounds is a big leap. Just keep that chest up. Don't collapse down. Man, I feel this. Now, I'm always going to say I'm looking for 8 to 15 reps, but do know that the cosmetic changes typically happen at 10 and above. Oh, one more. Oh, I'm glad I did it, though. And let's try. Not too sure about this one. We'll see. Let's see. I'll take what I can get, before I downgrade. It's how you get stronger. You just get that in. Yeah. Few more. Whoa. Okay, let's stretch these out. So we just did the bent over tricep kickback. So let's take a tricep stretch, hand to shoulder, elbow points down. You're not going to begin the stretch here. I want it down because I want you to go through the range of motion of that glenohumeral joint at the shoulder. So standard tricep fitness stretch. Back of the head pushes into the arm, but we can tie in some nice lateral flexion here. So I'm bringing my feet wider than the hips, turning the sternum, the breastbone up toward the ceiling as I pull over. So now I'm going to get tricep. I'm going to get intercostal muscles between the ribs, obliques, internal and external at the waist. Inhale, push down into that left heel, lift up. Exhale, lower the arm down. Let's take it to the other side. So first, just basic tricep stretch. Hand behind the head, pressing the back of the head into that arm. Now let's play with this. Feet a little bit wider than the hips. Turning the sternum. The sternum is the breastbone. Turning that up toward the ceiling. The reason why I'm doing that is so that I don't collapse the organs on this side. Oh, does that feel yummy? Does that feel good? And then inhale, push down into the right heel, draw the belly button in, come all the way up. Exhale, release. Let's do, okay, yes, the form. I had forgotten which exercise it was, pronation and supination. So I'm just going to let the arm dangle, bringing the wrist lower than the shoulder. Opposite hand, push both into each other. Push them. So this is the wrist extensor side. So you have to find out, but for carpal tunnel, that's usually an okay stretch for you, but you need to find out for yourselves, all right? And then we're going to turn over and stretch the flexor side. Now, carpal tunnel, don't do this at all, all right? Want to make sure that the elbow is not locked out. And I'm going to shake it out. Flick the fingers a bit, right? Okay. Bring it up. Oh. Wrist lower than the shoulder, pushing both into each other. It's Labor Day weekend here in South Beach. You should hear what's going on in the street, folks. It's just like, wow. So I got some new microphones because it's supposed to block out ambient sound. I hope that's a bit better for you. You don't hear all the rumbling of the motorcycles and the trucks. Remember, not this way for carpal tunnel, okay? All right, shake out, flick the fingers. All right, now, one more stretch. What I want to do here is let's offset some of that bent over, that forward flexion stuff. So let's do spine back extension. So we're going to stand with the feet. That same thing with just a bit wider than the hips. Now I'm going to turn to the side, all right? Hands go on the sacrum. Now, what is that? Wrist extension, not good for carpal tunnel. So bring your hands lower so the wrist stays straight. And I'm going to keep the head neutral for the moment. And I'm going to start to just, now you notice it's already a back bend. My concept is I'm sliding the sacrum, that flat triangular shaped plate at the low back, down toward my heels, but it doesn't technically slide. It's just that I don't want to push forward. So I'm sliding down. Now, maybe this is your range of motion. Maybe this is your range of motion. It's all good because it's still a type of a back extension. For me, I want to just play with this a little bit. I'm going to go a little wider. And I'm working one side at a time. If the belly pooches out, nobody cares, okay? Roll shoulders back. Now, keep the head neutral. You can bend the knees or keep them straight. It's up to you. Keep the head neutral for transient ischemic attack, stroke, medicated or not, for hypertension, vertigo, and GERD. Keep the head neutral. For the rest of us, let me just bring my hands under the shirt. There we go. Oh. The head drops back last. So I'm rolling the shoulders back, presenting the heart, and then lastly, drop the head. And then if I want to straighten the knees, I can. And then slowly come up by lifting the kneecaps, isometrically engaging the quadriceps. Inhale, exhale, inhale again. And that's what we have for you today, folks, here on Boomer and Beyond Wellness. And folks, please, if you like the content, I am one shy of 160 subscribers. I'm looking for that for tonight, please, please. And also, if you feel like it, I would really appreciate a kind comment or a thumbs up. Share it with people. Share it especially with people who don't feel like they have a safe platform to come to work out without weights, right? And to be able to really focus on their conditions and their issues and how to be able to work out with these chronic concerns. Don't forget, hit that notification bell to be reminded of the current content. And until next time, folks, eat your greens, eat your beans. Yeah, you know that I practice a whole food, plant exclusive lifestyle. Drink your water and be well. Thank you so much.